Welcome back. Our next guest is the founder and CEO of BEAM. It's the Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective, and he joins us today to discuss their work. We welcome Yolo Akili Robinson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here to talk with you today.
Yolo Akili stands for in Swahili.
Well, Akili means wise and wisdom in Swahili. It actually was a name that was given to me. I did undergraduate African American Studies at Georgia State University, and as a tradition there, they would rename you. And I took on that name generally. First, it's my writing name, and it kind of became my public name from that point on.
There you go. Okay. And from there, in college, did you start this program? Did you start this foundation?
No, actually, I started BEAM about 4 years ago, actually, and it really came out of response to things that myself and many of my colleagues saw in terms of gaps, in terms of relating to mental health care. Right? We saw that when people talk about mental health, they don't talk about it in a way often that really spoke to our communities. They really kind of honored the ways in which we do healing, the way we do talk about mental health, like the ways we navigate those things. And so we want to make an institution that can really respond to that by offering resources, training, education, tools, etc. And that's literally how BEAM was born.
That's excellent. So you've been doing it for how many years now?
I've been working in public health for 15 years. BEAM has been around for 4 years now.
That's great. All right. Anybody working with you that you want to give a shout out to?
Many people, so many people, but shout out to everybody at BEAM. Of course, Mefdi, Leroy, Dr. Frazier, Dr. Dion Bates, Natalie, Holiday, whole team. I could go on all day, but love to everybody working with BEAM and across the country.
There you go. So tell us more about BEAM.
Yeah.
What it stands for, what it means.
Absolutely. So BEAM is a national training, movement building, and grant making institution dedicated to the healing, wellness, and liberation of Black and marginalized communities. Our work falls into 3 different buckets. The first bucket is training and peer support. Our training is really geared towards the understanding that most of the people in our communities and Black communities that who respond to emotional crises or emotional distress are not always just the social workers or the psychiatrists. Often the first responders are faith leaders, they are barbers, they are stylists, they are coaches, teachers, right? And those folks sometimes, very often, don't have the skills or the tools to really show up and support folks when they're in crisis or get them connected to care if they need broader support, right? And so we focus a lot on work on supporting those folks with the education, the tools, refining their skills so that they can know what to do in those moments of crisis, but also understand how to change their programs, challenge their schools, their communities to really center healing and center mental health. And so a lot of our training is really built on that premise. We also have a lot of peer support programs. Right now, we do a lot of them virtually, of course. Peer support, in a sense, is saying that, spaces for Black folks to come together virtually, phone as well as video, to talk about what they're going through, from COVID-19 to our Black Masculinity Reimagined program for Black men and masculine folks to come together and talk about their struggles, things they're navigating. We provide a lot of different programs online for people to come together. And then we also do our grant making and our organizational wellness, where with our grant making, for example, we support throughout the South and other parts of the country, collectives of Black folks or groups of Black folks who are doing really dynamic healing work. We've supported barbershop education, where people go into barbers and teach them about mental health. We've supported doulas, doulas offering doula care to Black women who may not be able to afford a doula normally, but need that kind of maternal health support. And so those are the things we also support community gardens. This year we supported 2 community gardens in the rural South, Mableton, Georgia, shout out to Mableton, Georgia, and Austin, Texas. Group of Black folks who got together and said, we want to provide green foods to folks. And we know that food helps people's mental health if they have access to better food.
Absolutely.
That's what we do right there a little bit,
Yeah, we have people on that are talking about slow food and all that stuff, as opposed to fast food. So that's good. You're doing some great things, and it's not only localized, you're doing it nationwide, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we have affiliates gratefully in all parts of the country doing work. And we've also had an opportunity to collaborate with many different communities across the country. And so that's the real hope of it, right? To build a coalition, a network, so that we can mobilize and be connected and learn from each other.
Yeah, I like that. And you don't do this alone. Of course, you got some people who started it up with you.
Oh, yeah.
You want to shout out those people before they say, hey, man, you went on and didn't talk about us?
No, I mean, I know I named me those people in the beginning, but yeah, it's definitely a collective of folks across the country. We're also not even also individuals, but also our board of directors, like people I mentioned earlier who make the work possible. And so my job as executive director is really just to be the facilitator of the vision.
How has the pandemic impacted a lot of the work that you guys are doing in our community?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's meant that as soon as the pandemic hit, our website increased traffic dramatically, our programs increased attendance dramatically, and people were coming in and just reporting, as you can imagine, all kinds of amplified distress, frustration, rage, anger, despair. We saw those things go up immediately, right? Some of our parts of our website, like our virtual therapist directory, which is our Black virtual therapist directory, which is a directory of all Black virtual therapists across the country. We started seeing like 40,000, 50,000 hits every month to that part of our website. We started seeing our support programs increase 200%. People were coming through and they needed more support. They need more help. That's one of the reasons we do offer. So all our services are offered free because our folks can't afford therapy or can't have access to a therapist. And so those are the things we've seen, just amplified distress, people needing more resources and support, us trying to really be responsive, get more money out, get more support out as much as we can.
Yeah. And you have something called barriers that you aim to remove.
Yeah. So a part of our work is to remove the barriers that Black people experience getting mental health care, right? And so those are the ways in which we do that, through the education, through the training, through the peer support programs we offer, through the connection to Black virtual therapists and psychiatrists for folks. We also have on our website a list of national mobile crisis units. People can have an alternative to calling the police, because we know that a lot of times when our folks call the police in mental health distress, harm happens. So we really make sure those things are in place on our website to help people get access beyond those traditional barriers, if that makes sense.
Beam is doing a whole lot in our community, huh?
We are doing a lot. It's definitely.
So you take that deep breath. Go ahead. That sigh of, we are doing a whole lot.
Yeah, a lot is needed. And, it's not just us. I mean, gratefully, we're in collaboration with so many amazing organizations across the country. Shout out to like the Loveland Foundation, the Steve Fund, Black Men Heal Therapy for Black Girls, many people who are really also in collaboration doing amazing work in Black communities everywhere.
Well, how do we reach you and get more information? You got social media, you got the website and all that going on?
Yep, check out our website. We have videos, we have downloadable tools, all kinds of resources, www.beam.community, right? So we are not a .com, we are .community. That is
.community.
So check that out on Instagram, social media. It's @_BEAM, beam.org. Our Instagram has meditations on there you can check out, videos that can explain certain concepts. Check it out. Make sure you hit us up. And also check out our events calendar. We have a lot of great events coming up. We have an event coming up currently with exploring Black men and masculinity in school and mental health. We have really amazing things coming down. So make sure you check out our events page as well.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for all the work that you're doing in our community.
Yeah.
And thank you for your service. And you represent BEAM pretty well. Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yolo Akili Robinson, founder, chief executive officer of BEAM. Thank you for coming on BronxNet.
Thank you.
All right. Website one more time.
www.beam.community. BEAM.community.
God bless you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. All right. We'll take a break. We've got more Open next. We'll be beaming it right to you on 107.5 and on Open.